since I will be streaming tomorrow. I think I'm going to be streaming on TikTok, though. But Liverpool possibly champion, possibly lifting the cup. So, it was Courtois. And he's crying. That's what you want to see from your players, TBH. Honestly, that's what you want to see from your players. And Ferran Torres was the MVP. Okay, good for him. Anyway, let's just do some final match here real quick. I think it really was a bit of a shame that because of the story that we covered earlier, Real Madrid really wanted to make the game about the referee. And they were pressuring him either by, any foul that they came across or any decision that it was even remotely close for or against them. It seemed like that they were really, really trying to make the game about the referee. And that's a shame because all of their supporters and all of their, not only in the stadium, but all over the world, want to see Real Madrid actually play. And it seems like they are incapable of doing that. And again, you just have to keep saying it. They are acting like it is owed to them. They are acting like, they should have won. They are acting like any and every decision is the end of the world. And frankly, it's sad and it's a shame to see. Because Real Madrid is a big institution, and they have the highest quality of players, and they play in the Bernabeu, which I'm told is the greatest stadium to play in. But they resort to these bottom feeder garbage tactics to just be a crybaby, to just throw berrinche, a temper tantrum, and everything about it was just a shame, man. It was a shame because I think it was just weird. Like they were just really, really trying to put pressure on the referee at every juncture, and I think both the referee and Barcelona did a good job of just kind of playing through. I think if we're being honest, Barcelona probably should have been more aggrieved by the refereeing because Gubiasi had a foul where Lucas Vazquez almost takes his shirt off at the back post where he would have had a tap in if he wasn't pulled. That probably should have been a penalty. The Valverde slide tackle where it hits his hand, I'm not giving him that. I think that one was, what is he supposed to do with his hand? So it is what it is. I think that one, the referee rightly called it right away. He said his hand's on the ground. What do you want him to do? And then minutes later, Carlo Ancelotti gets a yellow for a Barcelona player doing almost the exact same thing in the middle of the field, much less egregiously. And so it's like, are you sure you want that call, Carlo Ancelotti? Because if you want that call, we're going to have to go back and give that penalty. So, again, it became this story of like, why chase all these? Why just complain and complain and complain to the point of getting a yellow card so early on? Like, it's insane. And Barcelona, I think, were way, way more dominant. But when Mbappe came on, he did make a very big difference. They were pressing up higher, and maybe it was the Mbappe and Rodrigo switch, but they were pressing up higher. They were better. Maybe it was the introduction of Modric as well. They were just moving and passing the ball better, and they looked more threatening. And it actually got them a lead. And then if not for Rudiger, who it seemed like was just on gas, he was just on his last legs, gets beat by Ferran Torres, gets tied up, and then when it goes into extra time, it is completely dominated by Barcelona. So Barcelona have the bulk of the chances. Real Madrid had some chances here or there, where just the offside trap that was set by Barcelona to annul any any sort of close calls, if you will, because Vinicius Jr. would have had a penalty if he wasn't offside. Mbappe would have had a penalty if he wasn't offside. So Barcelona did a good job playing that high line. It is risky. And Bellingham actually in the first half had a couple of runs where I thought, okay, they might actually be able to do something. But they stayed quiet. And so, again, Barcelona were just hounding them. They were pressing up. They were pressing high, playing the high line, making great passes. And it ends up being one Jules Koundé that gets that strike, that gets them over the edge. And he did a great job. And I think Barcelona, if we were taking the totality of it, they were probably the better team. Real Madrid, again, it just has quality players, and so they're able to bring that spark whenever. But I think that's the difference between a well-drilled team versus great quality players. That, I think, quite frankly, there's not enough balance in that side, and so I think it showed there. And Barcelona come out on top again. I think Real Madrid had a decent game. They were actually, looking fairly good, but Barcelona and Koundé get that strike and end up getting the win. And there is actually another incident at the end there where Rudiger, and Kylian Mbappe gets a foul called on him on Eddie Garcia for a slap to the face. The referee calls it. Maybe it was a little bit soft, but the Real Madrid players absolutely lose their mind. They're coming onto the pitch. And I think the one that goes obviously way overboard is Rudiger, who actually throws something in the direction of the referee. I think that's fucking disgusting. Again, the referees are saying, they had the whole deal with the press conference saying, hey, we're people too. We might make mistakes, but we're trying our best. And I think that they did a great job, especially the ones on the field. And for Rudiger to do that, I think that crosses a line in which you have to see him get suspended. And I think, again, he just was so incensed, and he gets a red for that. Very, very, very clear red. He gets a red for throwing something on the field towards the referee, frankly. And he won't leave. He's having to be held back. He is absolutely incensed. He lost his fucking mind. And it is just a reflection of how the club look right now. They're fucking shambles. They're shambles. They're crybabies. They're idiots, quite frankly. And for them to do that is just absolutely shameful. And so hopefully he gets suspended because, like I said, he's an idiot for doing that. And I think that's just disgusting. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what the Spanish FA is going to do. But yeah, Barcelona, I think the rightful winners there. And Lamine Yamal continues to be a fucking demon, bro. Like, he is just... It was honestly... like, if there was like... I don't know, 100-pound man or whatever you want to say, 100 mil, transfer, break the record for these guys. I see why it's Yamal, and I see why it's Kobayashi as well. Those slide tackles, those saving slide tackles were fantastic. I mean, the high line is dangerous, and so you have to be on that razor's edge, and you have to be able to clean them up, and he did such a good job doing that. Kobayashi and Lamine Yamal, fantastic. I mean, they played such good games, and credit to them. Pedri, obviously, as well, getting that first goal with a wonderful strike. But, yeah, overall, I think it was the right result in the end. But, I mean, give them credit. Madrid gave them hell. Took them to overtime. But... yeah, it was in the end. Barcelona was just too much. Koundé just laces it through. It was an errant pass from Luka Modric. So, they're in between right now. I think Real Madrid with their midfielders. I think they're gonna need that that regen there. They're good on wingers, they're good on attackers, but yeah, maybe that midfield needs a little bit more attention than they would have thought. But yeah, let me know what you think about some of those foul chances, because I think I'd seen it earlier. Yeah, I mean, there's 3 here. They try to claim 4. I wasn't seeing 4. We'll look at this one though real quick. I mean, this is the one that I'm talking about, the Kubiasi. This is in the first half. It was a center that goes all the way through, and he would have tapped it easy, but Ceballos is absolutely holding him the entire time. I thought that one, I would have thought that they would have looked back on that and given a penalty there. That one I thought was going to be harsh. I thought it was that razor's thin edge right in the middle of you can give it or you can't. And I thought the right call was to not give it. Because Ferran Torres, I mean, he was just kind of lazy and he kind of gave up on the play, and then he just went down so soft. And, he fell backwards as if he got hooked and completely kicked out, and it just wasn't the case. Again, that still is going to make it look like that, but I don't think it was. And then that one, I think, correctly overturned. I mean, he didn't get touched at all whatsoever. They showed the angle that shows, where he's making that slide tackle. You see daylight. You could drive a truck, the amount of space in between Rafinha and Asensio. There was absolutely nothing to that one. Again, the only other one was the Valverde where it hits his hand, but it's like he's on the ground. I mean, what do you want him to do? So I think overall, like I said, on the field, I think the referee did a fantastic job. He was just explaining it to him real quick. Hey, I'm going to give him a yellow for this. Like, no, we're not going to do anything extra. It's a yellow. Let's move on. Some of the Madrid players and some of the Barca players were falling over. Get up. Come on, let's play. So I thought he was doing a solid job. And I think for the most part, the Barca players were good with the decisions, and the Madrid players couldn't be more aggrieved by any decision that was made. So, congratulations to Barcelona, I think rightful. Let's not even throw that in there. Congratulations to Barcelona, the Copa del Rey champions.